everyone!
Hello. Before we kick off the next episode of the documentary, we thought we'd take this opportunity when we're together to sit down and catch up on what's happened in the One Direction fandom since the last episode. As you may know, there hasn't been an episode of the documentary for a little while, and this is why.
There were some substantial events that happened within One Direction the band, and this is going to be addressing Zayn. It started when Zayn started to miss some concerts.
And it didn't seem initially like anything was out of the ordinary when that was happening. Most fans that we saw seemed to think seemed to be what was happening with Zayn anyway. He'd missed a couple of promo events and that sort of thing, so it didn't come out of nowhere.
Then Zayn released saying that he was going on stress leave for a while.
Which, again, not totally out of the ordinary. We didn't officially respond to that in any way because it didn't seem significant enough to...
Especially after he'd missed a few concerts.
Yeah, it felt normal.
And then it was announced that he wasn't returning, that he had left the band due to stress and he would like to be a normal 22-year-old.
We made some commentary about that and we stand by the reasoning that we gave when we made that commentary. Part of our thinking was that mental health always has to be the first priority, and for as long as that was the message that we were getting, we stood by Zayn and the protection of his mental health and the protection of his well-being, as did the vast majority of fans say it's important that he looks after himself.
One Direction then announced that they would be continuing as a four-piece band. Zayn was then seen with a music producer, but then continued on to the Asian Awards where he went on to thank the four boys of One Direction.
And it didn't seem like there was any kind of bad blood or any kind of negativity between them. It seemed like a really nice gesture for Zayn to mention them at all. He didn't have to do that.
And then there was a Twitter feud between Louis,
Naughty Boy,
featuring Zayn. Naughty Boy and Louis have had a few issues in the past, but this is the first time that Zayn has actually commented.
And it seemed bad. It actually felt, I think, like we were seeing the real story for the first time. I don't think that was supposed to happen in the way that it did. I don't think that was a planned PR strategy. So the reaction to that in the fandom was fairly negative.
It was then seen for a couple of sources that Zayn was working with a certain producer. One Direction recently had an interview on James Corden's The Late Late Show where they insisted that everything was friendly between them and Zayn.
And that was not believable at all. I just didn't buy it. And I saw what Louis said. It was specifically Louis that addressed the Twitter. I just didn't buy it. I didn't buy that there's not still animosity. It was interesting seeing Liam say that at first they were angry and then disappointed. That felt like accidental truth. I'm glad that they addressed it, and I'm glad that at least the public message and the public front of what happened is that there's no bad blood between them. I think that's a good thing to try to push that narrative, even if that's not the case behind the scenes. I don't think we really need to know what's going on behind the scenes. It's no longer relevant to the documentary.
One Direction have continued now as a four-piece band. They will continue as a four-piece band as far as we are aware. Our documentary is about the fans of One Direction. While it changes a few things for us and how we edit things and get things together, the documentary remains about the fans.
Because of some of the changes that we've needed to make to the documentary in order to accommodate the changes that have happened in the fandom, the next episode was going to be called Media and Hysteria. We have slightly changed the way that we're going to be presenting the episodes, and the next episode will be
The Fantastic Fandom Force!
So we'll be talking about some of the incredible projects that the fandom has worked on and contributed to, and
over the past 4 years.
Over the past 4 years, and the amazing power of this incredible group of people.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
I know what you're doing.